Hello. All right, an extended version. There isn't much to say that wasn't already in the short version, but let's get into it. I'm gonna add an armature, single bone, and go into edit mode here. You can just hit tab, and I'm gonna grab the tip here and just hit E to extrude it out, and we can make it a nice little zigzag. You can grab these. You can grab the whole bone, or you can just grab one of these points here. And so that'll be our weird leg with two knees for some reason. Maybe it's like a robot ostrich or something. I say as if robot ostriches have zigzag legs. I'm gonna hit Shift A, and that's gonna create a new bone. And I'm gonna move it down here to be the foot or the control bone or however you want to think about it. And yeah, that's basically it set up. We just have to apply the IK constraint. So let's go into pose mode, because that's where you apply constraints. Select the control bone, then shift click on the bone that you want to apply the constraint to. Hit Shift I, and there we go. Woohoo! It just works just like that. And you can grab this side too. So you've basically made a leg. If we want, we can make things even more complicated, like really easily. I'm just going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to add a bone and just kind of do what we did, but with kind of an inverse zigzag. I'm going to add a new control bone down here. Cool. And I'm going to parent the new control bone to that bone. I'm basically parenting the second IK chain to the first one. And I'm going to parent this one to up here. And then we have to add our IK constraint. Unfortunately, what the IK constraint does by default is it goes all the way back to the furthest root. And so this is going all the way through our new chain into our old chain, which means, let's see, how do I describe this? It's controlling this, but also it's a child of that chain. And so if we try to move things, it's going to stutter and it's not going to know what to do. And so we have to select this constraint here, and under the IK settings, we'll just tweak the chain length. There we go, to only go to this bone right here. And now it won't be glitching out. And that's kind of cool, kind of scissor effect. And like I was saying, if you want, here I can create a different setup real quick to kind of show you, kind of simulate that robot arm thing I had in the other version. We'll go into create our control bone here. This will be its head or its claw or whatever. Add a in pose mode. Select the control. Shift click on that one. Shift I. We've got our IK chain. Cool. But right now it's kind of like sloping like this. And let's say this is it's just mounted to the ground. It's sort of some industrial, like, what's the word? Assembly line robot. Yeah. Here. I'm gonna go back into this chain. And under viewport display, I'm going to turn on in front so that we can see what we're doing. Go back into pose mode, and let's go into the bone properties. And under IK, we can tweak some stuff. So I'm going to lock. Let's see, which axis is it? I think I want to lock X and Z, and that means now it can only rotate on its Y axis, which is nifty. And I could do the same, I think, with this one if I lock like those guys. Yeah, so now you can actually put in mechanical joints and it'll still, solve. It'll be able to solve it like you have a hinge joint. That's how you do that. So, woohoo! Yeah, and you can also control the stiffness of different things if you want. Again, we can parent other things to this, but it's a really great way of just getting into rigging, because it's basically, rigging's no fun because if you hit render, you don't get to see anything. You have to parent stuff to it. And so I always avoided it, and I'm like, let's spend as much time in the modeling section of everything. But what rigging does is it basically, it lets you tell the computer, like, hey, can you take care of this? And the computer's like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. Here, let's parent some more stuff to this. Did I already do that? I don't think I did. All right, here, let's add a cube. This will just be the worst robot ever, okay? Because I don't want to waste your time. But all right, there's one arm. There's another part. Yeah. And I'm going to go and uncheck lock edit modes. And when that's going to let me do, normally you have to like select an object, then shift click on this, control tab to get into pose mode, select the bone, control P, bone, then control tab to get out of that, and then select your new bone. And it's a lot of different clicking and mode changing. So I'm just going to uncheck lock object modes. and that's going to let me go into pose mode for this rig, but I can still click on the different objects. So I can select this, then just shift click on the bone, Control P, parent, select this cube, shift click on the bone, Control P, and now we have our nice little robot situation. So this isn't, I guess this example here doesn't particularly capture the imagination, but you can imagine if you're doing like a big robot legs or, yeah, you can do a bunch of stuff with this. And so, yeah, hopefully that's kind of useful.